Well, hello there. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and I'm here to give you a little update on the renovation of this old farmhouse that sits on my dad's property. And if you're interested in remodels, I think this is the video for you. Now, we're going to be trying to do it as inexpensively as possible, because though you know I'm cheap, where did it come from? It came from my mom and dad, right? They taught me to be cheap because they're cheap. And come along, I'll show you what we got done today. So before I get you into the house and start showing you some of the work we've been doing, I wanted to explain something. Here on the front end, there's a lot of just meeting people and getting estimates. So the roofer had to come out and look at it and give us an estimate before we accepted it. The HVAC guy had to come out and measure and look at it and give us an estimate. So we've been doing a lot of that. But one thing I wanted to get done before we leave for vacation is I wanted to find cabinets for the house. We've flipped houses before. Cabinets are one of the bigger expenses, and I wanted to get them as inexpensively as I could. Now, when I put new cabinets in my own house, they cost $25,000, and that was 8 years ago, so I have no idea what they cost now. Even builder grade cabinets for this house would have ran $4,000 to $5,000, and they would not have been as high quality as the cabinets I ended up getting. Now, the problem I ran into is I was scouring Facebook Marketplace. I was just looking every hour and setting alerts and trying to find cabinets. I was hoping I would find an entire kitchen that included the appliances, but I didn't. And when you're looking, when you're flipping a house, you really want to try to find a similar configuration to the kitchen you're renovating. And that can be a little difficult. Another thing that can be difficult is these kitchens that are being ripped out and sold are coming out of giant McMansions, and sometimes they're too tall, or they're just a weird configuration that only worked in that custom house. But let me tell you, rich people tear out cabinets about every 10 years. They're constantly remodeling. They have the money to do it, they like to do it, and they do it. And so it's pretty easy to find used cabinets. It's a little bit harder to find used cabinets that'll work in the house you're flipping. And so when I ran across these, they were in Omaha. Omaha's 2.5 hours away from me. My dad's in northern Missouri. It just happened. We were going to Omaha for a work-related thing. So we bought the cabinets sight unseen. I mean, we could see the pictures. But we hadn't seen them in person. And we just made a decision, since they were only $400, to go ahead and pay him. And we asked him to hold them for a week until we went up there, which he agreed to do. One thing that made these cabinets attractive to us was they were already out. And so we didn't have to do the labor. A lot of times these people, in order to save money on their own remodeling project, want you to do the labor and tear them out. And the last time I did that, it took 5 people a full day to do it. So it cost me money and labor, and I did not want to do that on this project, so it just worked out that they were already removed from the kitchen. Now, when we got there, they were a little rougher than they looked in the picture, and I thought they had a ton of scratches on them, and they were really super dirty. And I don't know if these people needed a new kitchen or a new house cleaner, because it came out of a beautiful home. After we left, I was crying. I'm like, oh, we've made a horrible mistake. These cabinets aren't going to work. They're in poor shape. But once we got them up to Dad's and I cleaned them and did just some minor work to them, they look fabulous. And I'm going to do a little bit more work to them. So follow along. Come on, let's get busy. Okay, so the cabinets. I should probably keep the picture of how they were configured.
Oh yeah, I was saying we've got one. I've got all that.
Okay. They're a little bit scruffier than I had hoped, but I think they'll clean up okay. And they're really dirty and they just need some ochre new or something on them.
Hey, just anything loose. Yep. I'll have straps going over the top, but
Yeah.
it's a little.
One more.
These back to back, so it doesn't need anything here.
Now there's, I don't know if you need one up there or. Yeah, no one knows how to use ratchet straps but old men.
That's how we're gonna win.
That's how you're gonna win, that's
That
right.
Cursive writing.
That and what?
Cursive writing.
Yeah. Well, we had to make a little stop here at Menards because I needed to get a few things for tomorrow to work on the cabinets. And John Wayne wanted to tie down his load just a little bit better. He's fanatical about that.
Went inside and getting some stuff for the cabinets. There's her dad's cabinets underneath the tarps. Got it all strapped down. Am I forgetting anything? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straps on it. Think we're good.
So what happened?
Okay, we were sitting and watching TV. The main door was open, the screen, we had the screen door closed. All of a sudden, something come through the screen door and grabbed the trash can, pulled the lid off of it. By the time I got up, I did not see the animal. At 3 o'clock in the morning, it come back and it started hitting the west side of the trailer. Now there's a dent there. I don't remember any dent being there before. But anyway, I've put a camera on the trailer now and I haven't got anything. He had been back. I don't know what it was.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I don't know anything unless that dent was already there.
But I
You
mean,
remember a dent on that thing?
do you think it was a raccoon or?
I can't think a raccoon could bend that trailer. But we'll go look at it and see. I don't know. I don't know what it was. There has been a raccoon hanging around here. I agree with that. And there was one killed on the road here. I was hoping that was him. But I don't know.
But you grabbed your gun and you were going to go kill him?
Well, not that night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
I got up and went out there with the flashlight, but it was gone. I think I did take a gun with me. But no.
But did it get the trash can? Did it drag it out of the trailer?
No, it knocked the lid off. And I think at that time it seen us sitting there.
Oh.
And decided to get out of here.
All right, I want to see the damage.
Yeah, Ed was coming there. I don't know, but the dent's right above it.
I don't know what other kind of animal would be big enough to do that, though. I mean, if
The only thing I can think of, and we haven't seen any around here, is a wild hog. Now, they say there's some, but we haven't seen any in this area.
Huh.
Now, Pat seen something she couldn't identify. And then I got it on camera out here. We couldn't identify what kind of an animal it was 3 months ago.
Huh.
But it looked like, I don't know what it was. It didn't look like a dog, it didn't look like a cat, but it was big.
Weird. Wasn't your cougar
No, it wasn't.
from Cougar Crossing?
But it rocked that trailer every time it hear it. Marge got scared. And I don't remember that being there at all.
I don't remember that being there either.
And this is where, under her, she was scared to death. It was hitting this trailer and just moving it. Do you see any teeth marks?
All right, we made it here. Hopefully they all made it okay. I had hoped the countertops would survive, but they did not. When they removed them, they broke them. I don't think it was that big a loss because they weren't that nice a countertop, so I'll probably be putting new countertops in. Okay. So when I stopped at Menards, I needed these microfiber dishcloths. And I also wanted to get some of this Restore finish. It does wonders on oak cabinets. And this kitchen cabinet cream, which removes dirt and grease. really important for the grease. All right, these are really dirty, so the first thing I'm going to do is just wash them. That is some dirty water, and I've only done a couple of cabinets. You know, they're pretty dirty. You know, when you buy stuff off Facebook, it's gonna be dirty. You're gonna have to clean it, but you gotta use a little imagination what it can look like. Okay, I've been working on these, cleaning them, and now I'm gonna try this on here. Okay, I first started just by cleaning, and I've only cleaned the lowers, but I'm real anxious to see how this works, so I'm gonna try it. Pretty impressed with this kitchen cabinet cream, and I don't know if this is gonna show up. It's got a lot of grease on it, and some of what I thought was scratches appears to be cake batter, so that's good news. Now this wood's pretty faded and scratched, but I want you to see what it's gonna look like when I'm done. That's why this is my before picture. I've already started cleaning it. I should have waited. There were two areas of concern, here, here, over here, and on another cabinet. But as I clean them, I'm gonna be able to fix this. You'll never know it. Now these are really dirty. This is kind of an area of concern, and you're gonna see how great this turns out. This time I worked on getting some of the dead flies out of here. Now I'm gonna work more on just cleaning it. Like there's a lot of dead flies in there, yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching.
Right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so I just need to get the vacuum. Okay. Whoa. I'll have to have your help on that probably. This is just an initial cleaning. It'll take several cleanings for me to get this back to where it needs to be. Well, I did not get done today what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to clean all the windows, and I did not get much done on that. But what we did get done was we got the cabinets in and we got them all laid out, and we met with the contractor. And I did work on cleaning up the cabinets a little bit, but they're going to need more work. But they are not looking too bad, and the layout's going to work pretty good, other than we're going to have to narrow this door a little bit, bring it over. And the contractor's going to have to make about a 10-inch spacer or move the window, and it's easier to make the spacer. Now I'm going to show you the uppers too. The upper cabinets are in here. It's got a glass front on one, a little cute wine rack. And I paid $400 for these cabinets. And John Wayne said they would be about $4,000 to buy cheap brand new cabinets. So if I'd gone to like Menards and bought some brand new cabinets, number one, they wouldn't be this quality. And it would have been about $4,000. So this is going to save a little bit of money, though it's going to need some work, like the inside of the sink cabinet. We're going to have to replace this board, and I'm going to have to do a little scratch repair. But overall, they're not in bad shape. They were really super dirty. But I like some of the detail on them. And once you have your countertops on, it's going to look pretty nice. The contractor said he wants to go ahead and hang the upper cabinets to get them out of the way. They'll put the new floors down before they set the bottom cabinets. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, you've got hardwood floors. Why aren't you refinishing the hardwood floors? Well, they're actually in kind of rough shape. They could be refinished, but it all comes down to money. It's cheaper to put down luxury vinyl than it is to refinish these wood floors. And we're not doing the glue-on kind, we're doing a floating floor. So someone in the future, if they wanted to redo these floors, they could do that, but we're not doing that. And while the contractor was here, we got a lot of things worked out. And I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I won't have another video for a while. But while I'm gone, the new roof gets put on. One of the things I had hoped that we would get done this trip was we brought our big giant brush cutter and we were going to cut down all of this. But we got here a lot later than expected. We thought we'd be here by 10. Instead, we didn't get here until about noon. As you can see, maybe, there's access to the basement from the outside currently. And I wanted to get all this brush cut so that you could mow around the house. I thought it might make it easier for the roofers, but we didn't get to it. So I guess it's not going to bother the roofers because they're going to be on the roof down here. John Wayne said it was not a priority. So we got other stuff done. And next visit, hopefully we get all this cut and we can explore that door. It may be caved in. But we're putting an inside stairwell. My dad doesn't want to. He thinks it's an unnecessary expense. But John Wayne, it's the one thing he's insistent on because he says it's a safety issue. And he wants my dad to be able to get into the basement quickly in case of a storm and not have to come outside in the rain and wind and then go down into the basement, which is how it always was when I was a kid. John Wayne wants to make sure my dad is as safe as possible, so we're putting that stairwell on the inside of the house. And I had also hoped that we would possibly have time to deal with this pile of wood and get it out of the yard, but I guess that's a next trip thing. A lot is going to happen in August. All right, Dad, what's the history of this house that you know?
Well, the house, as far back as I go, belonged to Alton Carter. And I'm trying to think of his wife's name, but I can't think of it. They had two boys, Arlen and Ronald, that I went to school with and lived just quarter to half a mile, all through my school years. But in this house, when I was, stay all night with those boys like we did with kids back then, there was an old house about 200 foot southwest of where the house sits now. And so this was the early 50s, I think 51 or 2, somewhere there. Alton built a new house. This house, it was new, but it did not have the basement, the bathroom, and the utility room on it till like 15 years later. And they lived in this house, and no one else lived in it that I remember. And Dad bought it, and I moved into it. But I don't think that was like 2 or 3 years maybe after Alton had died.
What year did Grandpa buy it?
Huh?
What year did Grandpa buy this house?
What year?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember.
You said this house was built by farmers?
Yeah, of course, Alton, Tom Foster, a farmer right east of me, a mile. He was a farmer carpenter type person. He was the boss. Eugene Clark, 2 miles west of me, helped. And Dean Danner's dad, and I can't remember what that Danner's name was now. Anyway, those 3 are the 3 I remember doing most of the work on it.
Is there anything else I need to know about this house?
I can't think of anything. When they built the house, this house, they put a water system in from the pond. They put a pipe in the pond, and the 2 hydrants are still out there, and the pump is in the basement.
Okay, now let me understand this. So they got their drinking water from the pond?
Yep.
So the house was fed by pond water. And
Yeah.
that's what they used to drink and bathe in and everything. But
Yes.
I wonder how clean that would have been.
It wasn't very clean. I used it. It was still working when I come here. By gravity feed, and I took a bath in some of it, and it was kind of bad stuff.
What about this well out here? What was that?
It was, you drink that. They did. I wouldn't drink the stuff anymore, but back then we did. You know.
It's not a cistern, it's an actual well? I mean, does it collect water off the roof or?
Yeah, off the roof.
Okay.
It
So-
did. It don't anymore, but back then it did. And the pump still works. It's full of water.
When did this house get put on rural water?
Oh, I don't know. I would say it was around 1975 or something like that.
When did you get electricity up here?
1946. REA, the Rural Electrification Act, the government granted money to all these people out in the country that didn't have no electricity, and they run a wire.
I said that's probably why they had all that baseboard electric heat.
Well, yeah, when they put the electric heat in this house, it had a separate meter, and if you had electric heat, that hooked to that only, and you paid 2 cents a kilowatt for electricity. It was cheap to heat back then,
So you
but
had,
now I don't know what it is.
so you had 2 meters.
2 meters.
One was for the electric heat and one was for all the
Yeah, 2 boxes. That was the heater box, and the other one's for the house.
So they got you hooked on that cheap electricity and then they
Then they switched you over to the
They upped the
other
price.
meter. Then I don't know what it was back then. I think it was like 8 or 10 cents back then.
grew up, what, maybe quarter mile from here? From this
Yeah, a little
house?
over a quarter, yeah.
So how did you get over here to meet your friends? Did you walk or ride a bike
Both.
or I guess you drove because you drove when you were about 8.
Yeah, if I had anything to drive, I would have. If it's a tractor or something sitting around.
When did you start driving?
Oh, I was probably 10 or 11 before I started driving a car.
Oh, so you're a little bit older.
Because back then, the cars were all standard shifts. There wasn't no automatics. And so the steering wheel, I couldn't reach the pedals, so I would slide around the steering wheel so I could reach the clutch and pedals. And then when I get to go down the road, then I'd jump back like that.
That sounds super safe.
And my dad was going to teach me how to drive. I had a Model A Ford, and I was pretty much younger than, I'm probably 10. And he had a Model A Ford, and he put a gallon of gas in it, and took me out in the pasture, said, here's how you start it, go. And so I learned how to drive by myself in a Model A Ford, a 1928 Model A Ford. Dad did custom combining. We had an A John Deere and an old 66 Alice full-time, and we done wheat and clover. Well, I started driving that tractor when I was probably 12, doing work, making money. And that old Model A, we took the back seat out. That's how we hauled gas to the tractor, that old Model A that I learned to drive in. And finally, he sold it. We got an old 35 Chevy pickup. And I didn't have no license, no nothing, But I followed that combine around with that old tractor hauling gas and stuff. And then I would drive the combine part-time.
Well, we got a lot accomplished in one day. Yesterday we went up to Omaha and we picked up those cabinets, which is about 3 hours from where I'm at. We brought them back here. We got here about noon. We got them unloaded. I cleaned them a little bit. I'm going to have to work on them some more. We figured out what configuration they will go in the kitchen dining space. I know some of you really wanted to keep the old cabinets, and I can see why. They were kind of cool, but they were not very well built, and it would have cost a lot more them $400 to refinish those. Also, they were just so extremely dark, and they made the house feel so dark. This is going to really lighten up the space. And taking that one wall out, instead of having a separate dining room and a separate kitchen and making it one big kitchen dining room, it's going to be way better configured. Now, we leave for Europe on Monday, and so I'm not going to be back up here for like 3 weeks. But while we're gone in Europe, they're going to replace that roof. And it's going to cost about $13,000 to replace the roof. That includes the roof, the shingles, the labor, fixing some fascia boards, and guttering. So hopefully that's all done by the time we return from Europe, and we'll start rocking and rolling on the inside of the house. We also met with the contractor today and figured out some more things, and we're trying really hard to stay on budget. Dad does not want to spend a ton of money. I don't blame him, and so we really want to keep within that budget. And you want to see how the house comes along, you're going to need to hit that subscribe button. So in the meantime, I will hopefully have a couple of grocery haul videos and money saving videos. We'll see. I appreciate your support. Give me your comments, give me your ideas. You never know what we might listen to and actually incorporate. And as always, I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. This is the pump Dad was talking about. Full of water and still pumping.